I'll say goodbye to all my sorrow, and by tomorrow I'll be on my way. I guess the Lord must be in New York City. I'm so tired of getting nowhere, seeing my prayers gone unanswered. I guess the Lord must be in New York City. Well, here I am, Lord, knocking at your back door. Ain't it wonderful to be where I've always wanted to be? For the first time I'll breathe free here in New York City. Say goodbye to all my sorrow, and by tomorrow I'll be on my way. I guess the Lord must be in New York City. So tired of getting nowhere and seeing my prayers gone unanswered. I guess the Lord must be in New York City. Well, here I am, Lord, knocking at your back door.
Punched a hole in the nighttime mist. I climbed through the window and down to the street. I'm shining like a new dime. The downtown trains are full of all them Brooklyn girls. They try so hard to break out of their little worlds. You wave your hand and they scatter like crows. They have nothing that'll ever capture your heart. They're just thorns without the rose. Be careful out there in the dark. Oh, if I was the one you chose to be your only one. Oh, baby, can't you hear me now? Can't you hear me now? Will I see you tonight on a downtown train? Every night is just the same on a downtown train. I know your window and I know it's late. I know your stairs and your doorway. I'll walk down your street and past your gate. I stand by the light of the four-way. You watch them as they fall. Oh, baby, they'll have it.
From my legs, from my ears, from my sky, all is rest.
Well, now for the big news. Of course, you all remember when I was down at Tuiwa, and then had a chance to move up here to Quinyon, and then after being in S3, had a chance to move over here to Charlie Company. Well, today I got some kind of good news. I have to take 17 men from my platoon, which cuts it just about in half. and a whole lot of equipment and go west and then north. Now this is going to happen on Thursday. And I'm going to a place called Woolly Bully, of all places. And this is north of Pleiku, between two cities. One is Kontoon, and the other is Dak To. Maybe you've heard of those places. In the past, there's been a lot of activity.
For it's Christmas in the jungle, and there won't be any snow.
My darling, it's almost Christmas and here I am, thousands of miles away from you and everything else that I love. I never thought Christmas could be so lonely. Everybody got packages from home today, and it's kind of sad watching how some of the guys are putting up decorations and trying to give this place a feeling of Christmas.
There's no tinsel, there's no fire, and there isn't any mistletoe. For it's Christmas in the jungle, and there won't be any snow.
Think what you will, laugh if you like, it don't make no difference to me. I'll open my case and I might catch a coin, but all ears may listen for free. Grand Central Station, wheels and it deals. The crowds rush and scramble round past the newsstands and out across the floors. And I did some singing, and I played guitar down near a doorway, howling out words and banging out chords. Well, think what you will, laugh if you like, it don't make no difference to me.
There is a rose in Spanish Harlem, a red rose up in Spanish Harlem. It is a special one, it's never seen the sun. It only comes out when the moon is on the run and all the stars are gleaming. It's growing in the street, right up through the concrete, but soft and sweet and really. There is a rose in Spanish Harlem, a red rose up in Spanish Harlem. Gold, then looks down in my soul and starts a fire there, and then I lose control. I have to beg your pardon. It is a special one, it's never seen the sun. It only comes out when the moon is on the run and all the stars are gleaming. It's growing in the street, right up through the concrete, but soft and sweet and really.
And tonight she owns the city. Brooklyn girls, when they walk in, they rule the world. Brooklyn girls, tough and pretty, break the rules. Speed bumps in her headphones, drinks on top of the brownstones. Get it on in the bathroom stall. Sunset girls acting prissy. Won't.
New York on Sunday, big city taking a nap. Slow down, it's Sunday, life's a ball, let it fall in your lap. If you got trouble, just take them out for a
You called me last night on the telephone, and I was glad to hear from you, 'cause I was all alone. You said it's snowing, God, I hate this weather. Now I walk through blizzards just to get us back together. We met in the springtime at a rock and roll show. It was on the Bowery when it was time to go. We kissed on the subway in the middle of the night. I held your hand, you held mine. It was the best night of my life. 'Cause everyone's your friend in New York City, and everything looks beautiful.
They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air. But when you're walking down that street and you ain't had enough to eat, the glitter rubs right off and you're nowhere. They say the women treat you fine on Broadway, but looking at them just gives me the blues. Across 110th Street, pimps trying to catch a woman that's weak. Across 110th Street, pushers won't let the junkie go free. Across 110th Street, woman trying to catch a trick on the street. You bet you. Across 110th Street, you can find it all in the street.
Well, I really don't mind the rain, and a smile can hide all the pain. But you're down when you're riding the train that's taking the long way. But I'll dream of the things I'll do with a subway token and $1 to pence.
They say the women treat you fine on Broadway, but looking at them just gives me the blues. 'Cause how you gonna make some time when all you got is one thin dime? One thin
waiting for the day. Oh, won't you come on out to play? We'll find our wings and fly away. 'Cause it's sunrise in New York City. Sunrise in New York City. Sunrise, well it sure looks pretty. Sunrise, 'cause it's sunrise in New York City. Sunrise in New York City. Sunrise, well it sure looks pretty. Sunrise, sunrise, there for all to see. The shining 42nd Street means it's time to get up off of your seat. Yes, 'cause it's sunrise in New York.
Hot town, summer in the city. Back of my neck getting dirt and gritty. Bend down, isn't it a pity? Doesn't seem to be a shadow in the city. All around, people looking half dead, walking on the sidewalk harder than a match here. But at night it's a different world. Go out and find a girl.
Wasn't it nice in New York City? Didn't you like the rain? Sorry to leave, but we will be back again. After I had a drink or two, reminds me of that dirty city and how I fell in love with you.
Au-delà de ces boulevards, New York 90 me paraît tellement loin. Poster de Tupac ou d'Elvis, mon cœur d'air américain. Oui, moi j'en ai rêvé. New York 90, est-ce que tu t'en souviens? New York 90.
The only time I worry a lot was when I took a wrong way, because I didn't know how long it still was to finish. Especially on that point of the race, that is almost the end. You have to. It's important to know who is stronger than who, especially if you are running with a partner. So I really was focused, and as I thought the day before that I was going to win, and I have never done before that I can say, hey, tomorrow I'm going to win, because people will think, yes, you are a liar. I was lucky because it still was a little bit long way, like a half mile, and that was enough for me to catch Benjamin.
Run away with me. We're on the way to New York City. Take my hand and see. Manhattan never looked so pretty. Travel light and see the world right. You'll never know if you never go. So run away with me and say hello to New York City.
Days gone, gone the sun, from the lake, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest. God is nigh.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray.
The Brooklyn, New York-based firm has invested $50,000 for 4 closed-circuit television cameras to monitor the subway station near its plant, as well as hiring security guards to patrol the subway entrances.
If we wash our hands of the problems like transit crime and homelessness and so forth, these problems aren't really going to be solved. We, too, in business, have to become players by being proactive.
As mayor of this city of Newark, I salute this great effort to heighten awareness to the plight of this country's cities and carry the banner for every American city. And now, therefore, I, Sharp James, Mayor of the City of Newark, New Jersey, do proclaim April 25th, 1989 as Thomas Klein Day in the City of Newark, and I urge all citizens to recognize his Together We Stand walk to help aid Newark and this country's inner cities throughout the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Hi everyone, I'm Bill Roller here, of course, in your interest. And what you just saw was my guest being presented with a proclamation by the government of the City of Newark. His name is Tom Klein. He is the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce in Brooklyn and also plant manager of Pfizer Pharmaceuticals in Brooklyn. And Tom and the Chamber of Commerce is worried about the plight of the nation's cities, and Tom decided to do something about it by walking from Brooklyn to Washington. And just to start off the conversation, Tom, I can't think of a more difficult route to take walking than going from Brooklyn to Washington, D.C. So let's start with that. Let's start from the first step.
Sure.
And tell me, first of all, why you chose to walk to Washington, what it was you hoped to accomplish, and what, in fact, you did accomplish.
Thanks, Bill. First of all, I'm chairman of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, and one of the functions of the Brooklyn Chamber is to look into the future. And you may know that in the United States, and particularly in cities along the Northeast, it's projected that at the turn of the century, in the year 2000, that there's going to be a net labor shortage in our country. That is, businesses will not be able to get the people that they need in order to continue to be competitive in the world economy. And therefore, in order to dramatize the value of inner city people to our nation in the future, when we have a net labor shortage, I decided to walk to Washington, 256 miles from Brooklyn to the nation's capital. Basically, what's going to happen at the year 2000 is that the people today who are the new immigrants, and many people who today are considered unemployed or unemployable even, are going to be the people that are going to be available to work in the future. They are going to be the heart of our workforce. And so we in business, if we're really concerned about the future competitiveness of our nation, need to get with it now to start preparing inner city people, where most of the population is, for that workforce.
Make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York. In a city that never sleeps, and find I'm a #1, top of the list, king of the hill, a #1.
So again, the torch is passed to a new century of young Americans.
hustlers. The Bowery got his bumps. 42nd Street got Big Jim, a Walker, he a bull shooting son of a gun. Yeah, he's big and dumb as a man can come, but he's stronger than a country horse. And when the bad folks all get together at night, you know they all call Big Jim Ball just because. And they say you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind, you don't pull a mask off an old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. Well, a hush fell over the pool room, and Jimmy come popping in off the street. And when the cutting was done,
Welcome to New York City and the 37th running of the ING New York City Marathon. It's Sunday, November 5th, 2006, and we begin our coverage this morning on Staten Island at Fort Wadsworth along the shores of New York Bay, where more than 38,000 runners are gathering for the start. With a field this large, the runners will be divided into 3 groups, wearing orange, green, or blue colored bibs. Each group has its own pre-race area and corrals. It's about this fantastic city, New York City, the greatest and grandest city on earth. Up in Harlem, the course passes the statue of Duke Ellington, the maestro, on 5th Avenue at 110th Street. There are surprisingly few walkers at this point. Everyone appears to be keeping a fair pace. Today, 37,840 men and women will officially finish the 2006 ING New York City Marathon, establishing yet another record for this great race. Finishing a marathon is a remarkable achievement, one few will ever forget. Congratulations. At the finish line stands the statue of Fred Lebow, founder of the New York City Marathon. Lebow could never have imagined that the race would grow from 55 runners in 1970 to more than 38,000 this year. After crossing the finish line, runners are presented with the coveted finisher medal. With finisher medals worn proudly, everyone begins to relax and reflect on the journey that took them 26.2 miles. From Staten Island to Central Park, with 5 boroughs and 5 bridges in between, and all inside a few hours, more or less. As they continue walking, runners receive a foil blanket to help regulate body temperature. Water and energy drinks are provided. Volunteers help runners remove timing chips.
LA is fine, the sun shines most of the time, and the feeling is laid back. Palm trees grow and rents are low, but you know, keep thinking about making my way back. Well, I'm New York City born and raised, but nowadays I'm lost between 2 shores. LA's fine, but it ain't home. New York's home, but it ain't mine no more. I am myself to no one there, and no one heard at all, not even the chair.
was famous as a place of movie scenes.
facing the lights. On my name, my marquee's bound down on Broadway. Even if it ain't all it seems, I got a pocket full of dreams, baby. I'm from New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York. These streets won't make you feel brave.
First of all, thank you for everybody for being here. Mr. Mayor, we have a number of our partners here today. First, Deborah Wright and Veronica White from HPD, Lorinda Karoff and David Meikle from the EDC, Larry Carnacchia, the president of Arlington Press. Larry, just come on up and say hello. Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to take just a very few minutes to tell you about our urban renewal plan. A number of years ago, actually in 1983, we determined that this particular site could be a vehicle for expanding urban renewal. And based on the inspiration of Bill Steer, Bill's comment basically was that the problems that we face in the New York City are not the problems of city government. They are our problems. So we attempted to establish a partnership to deal with employment in the area, to deal with housing, to deal with crime deterrence, and to deal with education. And we hope that our little model could be a model which could be replicated not only in other areas of the city, but throughout the United States.
It was very, very impressive and very encouraging as a mayor of New York City to see a corporation which is really people that is so dedicated to New York City and to the community that they serve. I wish I could say that this wasn't just about unique. I wish I could say that this is essentially happens all over the city with every community and every corporate entity. Really good.
Put your lighters in the air, everybody say yeah, 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 yeah. In New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York. These streets won't make you feel brand new. Their lights will inspire you. Now you're in New York. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in gone the sun from the lake, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest. God is nigh. And it said, welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you. Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you. Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York. It's a new soundtrack. I could dance to this beat. true love, it drives you crazy.
Then finally I retired from Pfizer in 2005, and I wanted to undertake a lifetime quest to go from Point Barrow, Alaska, the northernmost point in the United States, to Key West, Florida. No one has ever walked this before. These are the people that are affected by malaria: younger women of childbearing age and young children under the age of 5 account for most of those 1.5 million that are killed. And this is the baddest woman on the planet. She is the worst woman. She's been around for 1,000 years. We need to do something about it. This is the female Anopheles mosquito. With help, we can change her into this.
And it's a welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you. Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you. Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York.
When there's nowhere else to run, is there room for one more sun?
Everybody's asking me to ask the man from the Israeli Film Festival if the government is behind you so far as being a solid sponsor.
Yes, absolutely. The Israeli government, right? That's what you meant, the Israeli government.
I would assume that maybe the United States government might chip in a little bit too.
Sure. New York City is helpful very much. The mayor office.
That's great.
The Israeli government from different kind of departments are very, very, very helpful.
The Israeli government all the way.
All the way. They're helpful to make really the festival as a cultural exchange between Israel and the United States.
At the Biograph Theater right now on West 57th Street.
Till May 8th.
You might want to someday photograph a man who walks and walks and walks, and he keeps on walking. He steps toward a goal. I want to ask the chairman of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Tom Klein, why have you been walking and walking and walking?
Well, there's probably two reasons, Joe. One, I'm a long-distance race walker.
Right.
That's the way I maintain my emotional sanity in the world of business, is by walking long distance.
Right.
But recently I walked 154 miles from the Brooklyn Bridge to Albany, New York, the state capital, and I was trying to demonstrate to the New York State Legislature a theme that Brooklyn business people believe in, and that is that the complex problems facing our city, and certainly facing the Brooklyn business community, can be solved one step at a time. You walk 154 miles one step at a time. If you want to deal with crime, housing, transportation, other problems in a big city, you take them one step at a time. That's the theme.
You're with Pfizer.
Yes, I'm the plant manager of Pfizer's.
What are they doing to fight crime in Brooklyn?
Pfizer has some very extensive programs, but one of the most interesting one, Joe, is we have 4 closed-circuit television cameras at a subway station in Brooklyn. It's an underground station on the GG line at the Flushing Avenue stop. And the cameras are actually monitored by Pfizer guards. If a security incident should occur, we have a hotline to the transit police, and the transit police respond. In the last 2 years, we have succeeded in apprehending 7 muggers.
Boy.
And what's most intriguing to me is that when the muggers find out that their crime is on tape, they typically plead guilty.
Boy. You're the plant manager, therefore, in Brooklyn, I would assume.
Yes, I'm the plant manager. Pfizer has been in Brooklyn since 1849.
Is Brooklyn a good place to do business?
Brooklyn is an excellent place to do business. One of the greatest things about Brooklyn are its people. We have a wonderful employee population, and we are very competitive with many companies across the pharmaceutical industry.
You say here that immigrants in the headline, immigrants make good workers. How could I not agree? But why do you make that bold?
You know, it makes it's a very important point. People tend to believe that employees who come from the inner city somehow are not capable of competing in the world of work. What we've discovered in our plant is that people from all over the world, everywhere from East Europe to the Caribbean, If you treat them as human beings, if you give them a say in what is going to be done, they can be very competitive. They will change with you, they will work with you, and they'll cooperate with you. And my story basically is, Joe, is that Brooklyn people make good workers because many of them are immigrants.
Mr. Fenigstein, does this interest you somewhat?
I think I agree with him. I think immigrants are good workers.
And could be a good subject for one of your movies.
That's a good idea, too.
We'd be happy to have it.
Thanks and praise, for our days, neath the sun, neath the stars, neath the sky, as we go, this we know, God is not.
When there's nowhere else to run, all these things that I've done, time, truth, and hearts. If you can hold on, if you can hold on.
I have always wanted to be the first person to walk from the northernmost point of the United States, located at Point Barrow, Alaska, to the southernmost point of our great nation in Key West, Florida. Finally, in 2006, I got my opportunity. I walked 400 miles down the Dalton Road from Dead Horse, Alaska to Fairbanks. The next summer, I walked the Alaska Highway to the border with Canada, and in successive summers walked across the Yukon and through British Columbia. I then wobbled across the far west, from Washington, over the Rocky Mountains, all the way to Wyoming. Then I trotted through the Midwest, including Nebraska and Missouri. In the meantime, I returned to Alaska to tackle Point Barrow. I walked across the frozen Arctic Ocean where temperatures were 60 below zero. Undaunted, in 2013, when it was a little warmer, I walked 730 miles up the Florida Historic Trail, from the Everglades all the way to Tallahassee. Then I entered Dixie, walking across the great states of Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and Arkansas. I had to return to Alaska twice more before I finally conquered the tundra and the polar bears. Am I tired? Well, of course.
They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air. But when you're walking down that street and you ain't had enough to eat, the glitter rubs right off and you're nowhere. They say the women treat you fine on Broadway, but looking at them just gives me the blues.
The TCS New York City Marathon.
The largest marathon in the world, with more than 51,000 runners making their way through the 5 boroughs, each one with a different story to tell.
I'm from Portugal. I'm very happy to run here in the New York Marathon.
This year we're going to celebrate what makes New York City great.
And I'm running because I want to show and prove that anybody can do anything.
We are incredibly excited to be a part of New York City and the fabric of this community.
It's fun to come to New York City and just see everything and to be along that course and hear the support.
And we're out here to encourage some kids to stay active and be healthy.
He'll be racing his 26th and final career marathon here on Sunday. Mr. Meb Keflezighi.
To get a tour on our feet and through the 5 boroughs, it's just special to be in New York.
We're here this morning at the TCS Run with Champions.
To encourage our younger generations to stay active and be healthy is something that I'm all about.
Hopefully we're inspiring the next generation of distance runners.
Today we're here to run the 5K. I think it's symbolic in the fact that all people come together and have one common goal.
You meet amazing people, you meet different people of different cultures, and it's just an amazing experience.
This is the best marathon in the world, and we're happy to be here.
Let the parade begin.
The opening ceremony is now underway in Central Park.
I was the third brother of 5, doing whatever I had to do to survive. I'm not saying what I did was all right. Trying to break out of the ghetto was a day-to-day fight. Being down so long, getting up didn't cross my mind. But I knew there was a better way of life, and I was just trying to find. You don't know what you do till you put under pressure.
I would add a little bit of my observation for somebody who has truly amazing feats as a leader, and he's also a race walker. So it's amazing. He just ran 10 miles a couple weeks ago, so I don't know how he does it, but he is wonderful. It's wonderful to call him as a friend and also a research partner, so thank you, Tom, for doing that. 52 years ago, Tom was where many of our engineering students are today, preparing to graduate and wondering what the future held. In making critical decisions about his future, the choices that he has made influence not only his life, but many lives of people that he has touched. I mentioned earlier, Tom's success in corporate sector is matched only by his commitment to service. In addition to his distinguished service to the nation as a member of armed forces and in government services, while working in Brooklyn, he set out to improve the lives of those in that New York borough and achieved national recognition for his leadership in improving public education, reducing crime, creating employment opportunities, and building hundreds of residences for neighbors that are in need. He authored a book about his experiences in neighborhood revitalization entitled The Golden Hand Grenade, a lifetime fighting to rebuild a tiny stretch of urban America. Tom is also the author of another volume of Competitive Walking. The title of that book is Stride to the Top, which could be a great forward description of Tom himself. In committing to his 6,500-mile walk, he did so in support of the effort to rid the world of the killer disease, malaria. His commitment to eradicating malaria is truly tireless. His talents and energy are matched only by his determination to end the spread of that disease. Some of my students and I have the privilege to working with him on research effort with a goal to address this malaria health that impacts thousands of people even today, every year. Tom, we thank you for all you have done for so many through your work in helping to improve the health of people across the globe, in outreach to improve the lives of communities, and in support of mission and goals of your alma mater. You have accomplished much, and we are honored to have you with us. Can one engineer really make a difference? Your life's work answers that question you pose for us today with a resounding yes. You prove that one engineer can really make a difference. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Tom Klein.
Thank you. So this is the title, Can One Chattanooga Engineer Make a Difference? Now, why did I use Chattanooga? Because I'm a Chattanoogan engineer. You say, well, wait a minute, you graduated 50 years ago. You haven't been back. You've never done any engineering in Chattanooga. But here's what happened. When I got off that train, I was only 18 years old. And fine, my moral values had already been formed. Yes, I had a sense of religion. And my dad worked 7 days a week at night. And my mom taught me how to study. And I knew nothing about engineering. But when I came here, I understood what engineering was. What I learned at Chattanooga, no place else, is the relationship between engineering, math, and science. But engineering, as you know, is more complicated than that, much more complicated. Because engineering is also the relationship with history. If we don't know and study history, we make the same mistakes. And we can't build upon what was done before. Engineering is also about government. At the end of the day, we can't do it in Washington, but at the end of the day, we have to communicate with government. And engineering, finally, is about spirituality, is that we have to have a purpose in our life. And if you want to make a difference, you have to have a spirituality. It doesn't mean you need to believe in a creator. There are people who call themselves agnostic, who still have an outlook on life to serve others. So I want to ask you a question. How many people here think that one Chattanooga engineer, just one, I'm not talking about me, although I'm one, can make a difference? Raise your hand if you really think so. Okay, let's see. There's a few back there that aren't quite sure yet, but okay, thank you, thank you.
Is gone the sun from the lake, from the hills, from the sky.
hungered for your touch a long, lonely time. Then time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Speed your love to me. Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Yeah. Lonely riverside, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming home, wait for me.
They call the queen of the hopper. Well, I love my queen. Do you know who I mean? Well, little 16. Yes, that's my queen. Well, she wears short shorts and a rock and roll shoes. Got to see you dance to the yellow dog blues. She's my sugar time baby, I'm a lollipop. And everybody knows I love my queen of the hopper. Well, I love my queen. Do you know who I mean? Hey, little 16. Yes, that's my queen. Well, she tunes in the bandstand every day to watch the kids that dance across the USA. You don't care about a thing except rock and roll. My baby drives me crazy when she does this roll, yeah. Baby drives me crazy when she does this stroll. Well, I love my queen.
just a dream. All our plans and all our schemes. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I tell myself each time, I know that we could never last. Just can't seem to end the past. Just a dream I dreamed in vain. With you I'd only live in pain. Your picture is always with me. I can still hear that same mournful song. And now I sit here crying. Please leave me alone. Oh, why do I love you? How can I live in misery? I know that I won't forget you. But now I know it's too late for me. Your picture is always with me. I can still hear that same mournful song. And now I sit here crying. Please leave me alone. Oh, why do I love you? How can I live in misery? I know that I won't forget you. But now I know it's too late for me.
Only you can make all this world seem right. Only you can make the darkness bright. Only you and you alone can thrill me like you do, and to fill my heart with love for only you. Only you can to make all this change in me.
High above the chimney top, that's where you
Cobos Beach they had their first embrace. Oh, that Doris, she quickly put him in his place. Doris, Doris Vega, she's the only one for me. He sailed with her to the island of Iquitos, way out on the ocean blue sea. Then he knew together they just had to be. But she ran away and climbed a cocoa tree. Oh, that Doris, she quickly put him in his place. Doris, Doris Vega, she's the only one for me. On Isla St. John, a tent became a favorite home for his mate. He said, marry me now before it's too late. But she said, hey Mooney, I just may make you wait. Oh, that Doris, she quickly put him in his place. Doris, Doris Vega, she's the only one for me. He took her to Canaima for an adventure trip. This was his last chance, he thought he was through. But there under a waterfall, she finally said, I do. Oh, that Doris, she quickly put him in his place. Doris, Doris Vega, she's the only one for me.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of...
Hey folks, tomorrow is the New York City Marathon, and a local race walker who's no stranger to marathons is all ready to go. Photojournalist Christo Bakalov and producer Haley Clark take us along the trail.
The best that I did was 93 miles, only walking. I don't like running, in 24 hours.
My name is Tom Klein. I am a Westchester native. I am a race walker. I wrote a book on race walking. As long as you have good shoes, you can walk anywhere you want, and that's how we stay in shape. I went to Vietnam. I'm very proud to have served my country. That's when I really learned to walk. I've had the opportunity, again, I've walked 59 other full 26 marathons. It's the greatest city in the world, there's no debate, it's New York City. And I had to come back for the New York Marathon.
You just keep moving, and it's not how fast you go. It's the fact that you're still going.
It makes no difference how old you are. If you're 100 or 90 or 60 or 50 or 14 or 10, you can do anything that you want in life. We can make a difference in the world by taking one tiny step at a time.
Oh my gosh, he looks awesome doing that. Congratulations.
New York, New York, these vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York, I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep.